Hello Facebook Ads people, I'm Konstantinos, and today we're going to talk about Advantage Plus Audience. A lot of people are talking right now about Advantage Plus Audience, and I can tell you that I have tested it. I'm not thrilled about it, but I can see the potential to it. So what it does is that basically it says that with the help of AI, whenever we see something saying advantage with this small sign, like the magic sparkle sign, then we know that it's a feature from Facebook that they have AI. So whenever we see Advantage Plus, we know that Facebook wants to introduce AI to different things, from placements to, they made, for example, CBO campaigns, campaign budget optimization, they made it advantage budget, for example. They have automatic placements, advantage placements, and so on. Basically, they say that the AI is helping more to distribute the budget in the previews and to distribute the budget between placements in the automatic placements that we used to have. The whole idea is that we have advantage audience, which is coming and gives suggestions to Facebook in order to expand to broad audience. As we always say, every ad account, the ultimate goal is to reach the broad targeting so that it can target more efficiently, and after the iOS changes, broad targeting is here and it's going to stay for a long period of time. Now, for those that they have been doing Facebook ads before the iOS, we had a button that we were using like this. It was the expand audience button. Basically, it was one checkbox below our targeting, our interest targeting, that you could check, and it was saying that Facebook is going to try to expand what you gave it to a bigger audience. So Facebook was working on this feature way back before that, and they were trying to make it work. Was it actually after iOS or before? I don't remember. I think it was before, because I used to do it with the Blender method. So in order for me to be able to explain this further, let's go on my PC. Let me show you. Of course, the expand button audience doesn't, we cannot find it anymore on the Ads Manager, but let's go on my PC and let me show you how it was working and how they say that this new feature is going to work, and we will take it from there. Okay, so let me create one campaign over here so that I can help you understand on how this was working. We create a sales campaign over here, and we are going to do manual over here. And the new campaign that we're going to have, we'll go on bottom, and we are going to see that we have over here, as you can see, audience controls and Advanced Plus Audience. If we switch to original, of course, we can see that Facebook is actually telling us that we will get 33% lower. This is not true. Also, you can see here that there is another message which says, based on how you've set your ad set, you may not get any conversion. This is not true. So I keep ignoring these messages from time to time. Let's use the original one and let's see how it is. And then it gives you also this prompt over here to use it again. So they try to convince you to use it. Why are they doing that? We have seen that after the introduction of Advantage Plus campaigns, Facebook was actually able to get better and better results with them, because a lot of people were adopting them and they were using them. When Facebook wants to introduce something new, they either do it in some accounts so that people can start using it and they can get back data, or they give free credits. I have created videos in this channel on how they were giving me 1 million just in credits to spend for the shop ads, because shop ads were something that they really wanted to push. Of course, it's not their money, it's money that you were going to pay, but you're not paying. It's not like they're giving it out of their pocket, they're giving you credits. On the other hand, we can say that they're losing some revenue, but nobody would do these ads if they didn't give them for free credits. So basically, the more people using these features, the more the AI gets trained, like ChatGPT. We can see the big differences that we had on the first version of ChatGPT, then the second, and now the third. They are completely different. Even on Midjourney, we can see that they had problems with the hands and all of that, and now the AI is fixing that slowly. Even OnlyFans models right now, they're putting different faces from AI on top of their videos, for all gamers like me, it's obvious, because they look like NPCs now on the Instagram videos. We live in a scary world over there with AI and all of that, all of the things that are coming. I think that the best thing that we can do is just get more educated about them and understand how they work. And the way that they work here is that the more people are using it, the more it's going to get trained and eventually it's going to work. I can tell you that right now it's not working better for me, but I'm sure that eventually it's going to work. Let's discuss a little bit about the old version and the new version and how it's working. So in the old version, we're having our custom audiences here on the top. Here you can see we have United States and advanced plus detailed targeting. It's also here, as you can see. So it says, we may deliver, sorry, I need to hover over. Okay. Advanced plus detailed targeting expands your audience beyond your selection to reach more people. It's automatically enabled because it's proven to improve performance for this campaign objective. Because your audience is expanded through automation, the estimated audience size will not reflect the total number of accounts and accounts that meet the targeting criteria. So it tells you that this one is not always accurate. So basically what it says is that even if you do over here phishing, and you do the interest over here, you can see that it's 62 to 73, but this doesn't mean that it's not going to expand it more. The big question, and what most people don't understand, is how much more? The answer is here. Here you can see that we are targeting 18 to 65 and all genders. So it can go either from 62 to 73 million up to 242 to 285. If we do that to 30 and we put here only women, it's going to respect that, okay? So not only the first audience, the phishing audience is going to be smaller over here, it's going to be 24 to 28, but the maximum after the expansion that it can go, it's going to be up to 89 to 104. How do I know this? I'm pretty sure, first of all, let's say that you are doing, you want to target only women and you want to target because of legal reasons, only 30 plus, okay? Let's say, or maybe let's say that in some countries, I believe that for gambling or for some other things, you can do from ages 22 plus. They have to respect that. They cannot go and just start advertising to 18 years old if you do that. So this is one thing that I believe it's making them to keep it like this. Secondly, this is how the expand button audience was working before. The expand button audience was here, just below here. It was a check button and it was saying we're going to expand to bigger audiences and so on. Actually, just a second, let me try to find one. Okay, so I found a Google picture. Here it says detailed targeting expansion. This used to, you see, it's also different interface over here comparing to that. You see, it's different. And you can see here it says reach people beyond your detailed targeting selections when it's likely to improve performance. Here the 1.3 million is coming from the fact that it's targeting over here, so you can see 45 to 65 plus, all genders, and most probably it's a small country, something like, no, sorry, most probably it's not a small country, because here it's targeting 45 to 65. This one is not turned on, but when it's going to turn it on, it's going to have the full potential reach of this one. So when you were checking that option, while here you can see the actual reach after the narrow down also here, when you were turning it on, you were able to see actually the full potential reach of the demographics that you were adding. And this is how I thought, and I started using back in the days the blender method. What was the blender method? The blender method was basically coming here and putting in the custom audiences the lookalikes of 1% add to cart, 1% purchase, and then you were putting below that some interests. What was the magic that was happening because of that? You had better direction. So the whole concept and the whole idea is that, okay, you're giving me an initial direction and you're telling me about phishing, but I can expand this audience to bigger audiences. For example, you could have these lookalikes, for example, and put an interest below them. And when you didn't have the expand button audience, the potential reach was going to be the people that they have this interest within the potential reach of this lookalike. But with the expand button audience, it was giving you the full potential reach of the lookalikes. So basically it was starting from this small interest. You can check also the video for the blender method. It was starting from the initial interest and then it was expanding to the full potential reach of the lookalikes, which was 1% lookalikes at that point. I can tell you that it was working flawlessly, especially in ad accounts that they were not super trained in order to use broad targeting crazy method. At that point that I made the blended method, I haven't found yet the stacked lookalikes with crazy method, which came for sure. I'm sure that this was before iOS changes, because at this point 1% lookalikes were very strong. As you can see here, what we have, and this is what I want you to understand mostly from this video, is that over here the full potential reach is going to be our demographics. So even if you put an interest and stuff and it's expanding it to the full audience, it's going, the full is going to be your demographics. Let's go a little bit and see how, now that we explained the expand button audience and how it was working before and what we have traditionally, let's see a little bit of how this new thing it's actually working. Here you have audience control, set criteria for where ads for this campaign can be delivered. I believe that this is the new thing about minimum or maximum, you know, the demographics that we mentioned. Of course, it's going to respect the country that you put. It's not going to go to other countries. You have a minimum age, and the reason that they do it is because you might want to advertise from 25 plus. As you can see, they don't let you do different ages here because I believe that the 25 comes also for some country like Philippines, for example, that you cannot run ads to younger people and stuff for specific reasons, which I don't remember now. And it gives you also languages that you can use and exclude custom audiences. So these are the hard no-go for your specific ad set. And you say that go minimum 25, exclude these audiences no matter what, don't expand to these audiences with any reason. Then it says, our ad technology automatically finds your audience. If you share an audience suggestion, we're going to prioritize audiences matching this profile before searching more widely. Now, back in the day, when we had the expand button audience, I believed that this is what it was doing. And I think that now, today, after seeing this, I believe that this is what exactly was doing, while they were not saying that it was doing that. That they didn't clarify that it was going to get some direction and then it's going to expand it. So I was just speculating that. Now that I can see it, I'm sure about it. Over here, you can see it's keeping our settings from before. We can do our different targeting and stuff, and then here put an interest, and then it's going to try to expand it. Do I like this feature? I think that this feature eventually is going to work because it used to work before with the expand button audience. It's very nice if you think of it, okay? So this solves the problem of the new ad accounts, because even when you do Advantage Plus in new ad accounts and everything, we have seen, I can show you actually in one new ad account. I think I have created a video about this, but I'm going to show you in this one. So in this one, let's say a little bit in the maximum period, because right now I'm starting having some good results over here, but it's a new ad account. So here you can see that I started with my first campaign. Let me see. Yeah. Here we have an Advantage Plus campaign. This is an Advantage Plus campaign, okay? It was having CPM of 32, and then I started using interest and it was having 13. As you can understand, when you go in new ad account, it's a little bit problematic to start working immediately with broad targeting. This is the problem that they're trying to solve, because in all of the suggestions that they had, they were saying, okay, you can go and you can do Advantage Plus. Yes, but my CPMs and my results are not good at all. By the way, here you can see that in the maximum period of this ad account, we have spent 0.69 average ROAS. On the last 7 days after all of these changes and all of that, I'm starting having some decent results. And you can see that the CPM over here, it's actually the CPM that I was getting at the beginning when I started using interest. So if I was stubborn over here, if I was using only broad targeting, what would be the outcome? Well, as you can understand, most probably I would have spent much more money in order to get closer to the success and the CPMs that I have right now. So what is the solution? The solution is that, okay, you try Advantage Plus campaigns, because I can tell you that in the last period, I started several new ad accounts, and in most of them, like in 4 out of the 5, Advantage Plus was having much more expensive CPMs, so I had to switch back to interests in order for me to get lower CPMs and start training my pixel. And there was one case that Advantage Plus worked immediately. This brand was having a very strong post IDs, which I was using from their social media page, but the pixel has zero data. So no, actually it didn't, because they put the pixel while they were having some organic sales before I come. So the pixel was there for 4 months. So it wasn't just an ad account that you go and you do ads immediately from the first day. That being said, new ad accounts were problematic and they had to fix it. And I think that this is the solution that they have found. I don't think that in big ad accounts we're going to be using that, because we're going to be focusing more on Advantage Plus campaigns. But if you think of it, in new ad accounts, they didn't have these options. So what do we do now? We do interests. And after the interests, we know that we're going to be able to expand also to broad. So if one interest is working, it's going to expand it to broad, training the pixel faster, having better results, having broad targeting eventually in the ad set, even if you don't start with broad targeting because it's super expensive, because it forms a hot pocket and then it expands it more. That being said, I think that it's a good setting. It doesn't work right now, but it's going to work eventually. And maybe in newer accounts, we need to start using it. I just don't think that right now the AI has all the data that it needs in order to expand it properly. But as theory, it's 100% correct. Also, after starting these new ad accounts, because people like me, we have big ad accounts and stuff, and we lose our touch sometimes with new ad accounts. I can tell you that I started appreciating a little bit again the ad accounts, because the interests, because I started using them. I can see that they're working in smaller ad accounts. Of course, in bigger ad accounts, I'm still doing broad targeting, but I started using also interest, and it was working pretty well for me. And yeah, I think that summarizes everything. I think that you can experiment with it and you can see how it works. I experimented it a lot. I can tell you that the traditional one was having better results for me. But I believe that it's going to work eventually, and most probably this year. So start testing it. I will keep testing it from month to month. When I'm going to start seeing excellent results, I will let you know. I don't know if it's the rebirth of the blender method over here, because if we start using 1% lookalikes, we put the audience that we want and interest on the bottom, maybe it's a start again. I stopped using blender method because the expand button audience became mandatory, so I didn't want to use it anymore. Before it was giving me the option, and it was amazing. It gave me some very good results. So maybe, guys, this is the period that we're going to start using it again. Of course, I'm going to try it. There is no doubt to that. So this is the theory. Implementation now. I have tested it, and I can tell you that it didn't work for me. It didn't work really well. Do I see potential to it? Of course. The expand button audience back in the days was not working also. And then it started working eventually, even with broad targeting, without putting any interest, it was actually working better. And then it became mandatory and so on. I think that it's good for us to just observe and see what we have as a new thing. And eventually, maybe they're going to work, or maybe we're going to use them in another way, like I used to use with the blender method, the expand button audience. Anyway, I'm going to keep you posted. But as of now, in my split tests between having normal, the old audiences, and this one, it didn't do better in any of the cases. But I will still keep testing it, and we will see. If you want to learn more, don't forget that you can check my book, my course, or my website. And until we meet again, guys, be creative and be consistent.